Okay, let's look at the different types of sampling, how they actually get data. Where convenient sampling is, it's just convenient. You sample people in your neighborhood because they're just right there, easy to get to. Systematic is like a counting every fourth person. Maybe you interview every fourth house. Simple random sampling is like if you put a bunch of names in a hat and you draw out a name, everybody has the same chance of being selected. Cluster, and then you will also see stratified, kind of they go hand in hand, where cluster and stratified sampling is you group first. The only difference between the two is stratified, they have something in common, where cluster, they do not. So it says in 1965, researchers used random digit dialing. Okay, so I already can tell by reading random digit dialing that this is simple random sampling. Okay, so to call 1,000 people and ask what obstacles kept them from attending town hall meetings. Woohoo, excellent. What kind of biases would be here? Well, this is a big one because typically this is me, that maybe you're in a hurry or you don't even answer the phone and so on. So individuals may have refused, okay, to actually participate. It also says individuals may not have been available when they were actually making the call. And in 1965, this is only going to include people that have telephones. Now this, the sample only consisted of members of the population that were easy to get. That doesn't work in this case because we used simple random sampling. All right, what is the difference between cluster and stratified? Well, we just mentioned these are groups. So it said here, after a tsunami, a disaster area is divided into equal grids. So I know that these are grouped, but nothing in here, it just says 50 of the grids are selected and every occupied household in the grid is interviewed. So nothing in here tells me they have anything in common. Okay, you might say, yeah, but they were in the tsunami. No, if it's stratified, they would say, and they only picked households with an income over 100,000. Okay, there's nothing here in common. So I know it's cluster, and it's not a random sample because it said every occupied household in the grid is interviewed. So it's cluster sampling, just in groups, nothing in common. And some of the grids are selected and everyone in those grids are interviewed. All right, now from here, the problem is some grids may have more damage than others, and some may even have fewer occupied households. And that's basically the same thing here. What we're looking at is certain grids may have been more severely damaged, and the grids that are selected may not be representative, okay, based in terms of the actual damage. All right, next question says chosen at random. All right, to me already looks like simple random sampling here. 540 customers at a computer repair shop are contacted and asked their opinions of the service they received. Now, the only thing about opinion sampling is you have to be careful of how things were worded. I'll never forget an example that was given to me. Do you own your car? And most people will say yes, but what if you're still paying car payments? Or do you own your house, but you're paying a mortgage? Well, not really, right? The bank owns it. And so you have to be careful of actual wording in these type of problems. But once you first figure out what type of sampling is happening here, okay, I think it's a little bit easier to start to see some of the bias that could happen.